Keanu Reeves, known for his humility and kindness both on and off the screen, has once again touched the hearts of many in an emotional story that is nothing short of heart-wrenching. The beloved actor, often praised for his compassion and down-to-earth nature, recently shared a deeply intimate and powerful moment with a young girl who was nearing the end of her life. In a simple yet profoundly touching gesture, Keanu hugged the girl just before her passing, creating a memory that would leave an indelible mark on those who witnessed it. The reason behind this heartfelt embrace will not only bring you to tears, but also showcase the true humanity of a man adored by millions around the world.
I know that the ones who love us will miss us.
Keanu Reeves is widely regarded as one of Hollywood's most down-to-earth and kind-hearted stars. His reputation has been built over years of simple, sincere interactions with fans, and stories of his humility often circulate across the internet. Despite his immense fame, Keanu remains approachable and grounded, preferring to live life without the glitz and glamour that often defines his peers. But even for someone as beloved as Keanu, there are moments that go beyond his usual displays of kindness, moments that reveal the depth of his compassion and his connection to people. This is one of those stories. It was a quiet afternoon when Keanu Reeves received a message that would change his life forever. A fan had reached out to his team, not with the usual request for a signature or a photo, but with something far more personal. It was the mother of a young girl named Emily, and she was desperate. Emily was just 14 years old and had been battling a rare form of cancer for nearly 2 years. Her body had been through grueling treatments, endless hospital stays, and all the ups and downs that come with such an excruciating journey. Throughout it all, one thing had remained constant: her love for Keanu Reeves. Emily had adored Keanu since she was a little girl. His roles in films like The Matrix and John Wick had captivated her, but it wasn't just his action-packed performances that won her over. She saw something in him, a quiet strength, a gentleness that radiated even through the screen. In interviews, she watched as Keanu spoke softly, never seeking the spotlight for himself, always deflecting praise onto others. She felt a connection to him that went beyond the movies, a connection that helped her during her toughest days. When the treatments became unbearable and she felt like giving up, she'd watch one of his movies or clips of his interviews, and it gave her the strength to keep fighting. As her condition worsened, it became clear to Emily's family that she didn't have much time left. Her doctors had exhausted every option, and they had finally come to the heartbreaking conclusion that nothing more could be done. Emily's mother, in her own grief, asked her daughter if there was anything she could do for her, any wish she could try to make come true. Without hesitation, Emily said she wanted to meet Keanu Reeves. She didn't expect much. She knew he was a huge star, busy with his career and life. But the thought of meeting him, even for just a moment, became her final wish. With nothing to lose, Emily's mother reached out. She sent letters, emails, and made phone calls, hoping against hope that somehow her message would reach Keanu. Time passed, and as days turned into weeks, Emily's health continued to decline. She was bedridden, unable to eat or speak much, and her family feared that her wish would go unfulfilled. But then, something remarkable happened. Keanu Reeves had seen the message. In the midst of filming a major project, he had come across Emily's story, and it deeply moved him. Without hesitation, he decided to act. He cleared his schedule, knowing that this was something he needed to do. For Keanu, It wasn't about making a public spectacle or gaining attention. He just wanted to be there for a young girl who had looked up to him during her darkest times. The day of their meeting was one filled with both anticipation and sorrow. Emily, though weak, was alert enough to understand what was happening. Her mother hadn't told her right away, wanting it to be a surprise in case things didn't work out. But when she finally revealed that Keanu Reeves was coming to see her, Emily's eyes filled with tears. For the first time in weeks, a smile appeared on her face, brief but bright. When Keanu arrived at the hospital, he walked in with little fanfare. He didn't bring an entourage, no cameras or reporters. It was just him, in his usual understated manner, dressed simply in a black t-shirt and jeans. The nurses and hospital staff couldn't help but whisper in awe. Here was one of the most famous men in the world, walking through their halls with nothing but quiet determination to fulfill a young girl's dying wish. When he entered Emily's room, the atmosphere was heavy with emotion. Keanu paused for a moment, taking in the sight of the frail girl lying in bed, surrounded by her family. Her eyes lit up as soon as she saw him, and though she couldn't speak, the joy on her face said everything. Keanu walked over to her, gently sat on the edge of her bed, and smiled softly. He reached for her hand, and she held it with what little strength she had left. For the next hour, Keanu and Emily shared a conversation, though it was mostly Keanu talking, as Emily was too weak to say much. He told her stories about his time on set, his love for motorcycles, and how much it meant to him that she had drawn strength from his movies. Every now and then, Emily would manage to nod or squeeze his hand, her face beaming with gratitude. It was a quiet, intimate moment, one that only those in the room could truly understand. It wasn't about Keanu Reeves, the actor. It was about Keanu Reeves, the person, connecting with someone who had found solace in him during her most painful moments. And then, just as the visit was coming to an end, something extraordinary happened. Keanu, sensing the gravity of the situation, leaned down and gently embraced Emily. He held her close, not saying a word, just offering her the warmth and comfort of a simple human connection. It was a tender, heart-wrenching moment, and those who witnessed it couldn't hold back their tears. Emily's mother wept quietly, overwhelmed with emotion. She had never imagined that her daughter's final wish would come true in such a beautiful, personal way. As Keanu hugged Emily, it was as if time stood still. For a brief moment, the pain and suffering of the past 2 years melted away, and all that was left was love. Emily's breathing, which had been labored and shallow, seemed to calm in his arms. She rested her head against his chest, and for the first time in a long time, she looked peaceful. It was as if the hug had given her the closure she needed. Keanu stayed with her for as long as he could, but eventually, it was time to go. He kissed her forehead softly, whispered a few final words of encouragement, and promised to carry her memory with him always. Emily's family thanked him over and over, but Keanu simply smiled and said it was the least he could do. He didn't want any recognition or praise. He just wanted to be there for a girl who had given him so much of her love and admiration. In her final moments, she had experienced something beautiful, something that transcended the pain of her illness. And for Keanu Reeves, that hug wasn't just a gesture of comfort. It was a reminder of what truly matters in life. It wasn't the movies, the fame, or the accolades. It was the connection between people, the love and kindness that we share with one another, even in the darkest of times. Keanu left the hospital that day forever changed by the experience. He had touched the life of a young girl in her final moments, but she had touched his heart in ways that words could never fully describe.